Hey everyone, just want you to go out there and subscribe to Raze Chaos. Remember, when you do, it'll be super effective.
And welcome back, everybody. My name is Raze Chaos. You have made it back to my channel. Wait. I'm not even supposed to be here today. No, because this is Saturday, and it is double, and that just basically means that this is one of Raze Chaos's double or nothing weekends, which, yes, big surprise, Raze has decided to go all out and do some double or nothing weekend videos for the month of December, and it just gives you that much more, because... yeah, we're going to close out the year with a bang and then start it with a bang. So we've got this one big Raze bang happening right at the end of the year. It's just like, yeah, here it comes, blah, blah, blah. So, yes, that is kind of a big surprise. Didn't have one last week, obviously, but, you know, you can't have everything. And at the same time, it can't rain all the time. So, boom, we've got that going for us. So, wanted to start this one out. Wanted to start the double or nothing weekend stuff out this month with two very, very big classics. I've been following these characters since 1994, when the original Clerks came out. Yes, Raze is that old. And we've got Dante and Randal from Clerks III. We've got the pops for those guys, and that is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy away, and we're going to talk about this. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that Raze absolutely adores Kevin Smith. Basically hooked from the first Clerks movie. Has followed him, even though he's basically been making the same movie over and over again. You know, Raze has enjoyed all of his movies, to some to a greater extent than others, because in all honesty, what people don't seem to understand is you can follow and, you can follow a creator, be it a movie director, a screenwriter, or, you know, novel writer, novelist, or comic book writer, or whatever. You can follow that person and not necessarily agree with everything that they do. That's what makes you an individual and not a follower. Just keep that in mind. You can not like something that somebody you admire does. It is possible. Really, I mean, Kevin Smith has shot some blanks before. I would probably say that either yeah, I would have to figure out my own rating for his movies to decide which one I dislike, which one would be the bottom one that I just didn't like. It's been a mixed bag on how well his movies have aged, but in a great reflection, it's also a great reflection of how Generation X has evolved. He's kind of slapped it right up there. Him being somebody who found fame very, very, you know, right out of the gate, when he was when he was in his early 20s, and how he's ridden that pretty much ever since. A lot of his interviews has kind of shown that he basically does nothing until he starts to run out of money, and then he's like, okay, I got to get a project going. And that's a very Gen X attitude. I'm already almost out of money. I better work again. And it's very much reflected in the Clerks movies. And none so much as the characters of Dante and Randal. Them being his, I mean, the Clerks is always going to be his baby. He absolutely loves that to know. I mean, that's really kind of the tentpole for the rest of what he's done, because he scraped that together And it's really impossible to talk about Clerks 3 without talking about the first Clerks, because essentially that's what Clerks 3 is. It's very biographical for Kevin Smith. The fact that Randall has a heart attack pretty much right at the beginning of the movie, and he's kind of recovering from that, and then says, "Hey, I want to make a movie," and it basically guilts everybody. "Hey, I almost died. I want to make this movie," and you know, as they're making the movie, essentially they're using scenes from Clerks, which are exact. And then if you've watched a lot of Kevin Smith's back stuff, a lot of the background stuff is actually stuff that was said about or was done because of of how they had to do things in Clerks. You get a lot of production notes from the first movie that are just basically put into the script of this one, and yeah, it's really it's very biographical. And what I like about Clerks 3 is that it kind of wraps up their story perfectly, that you have been waiting, that they always kind of left hanging when you watch that. And so yeah, I know Clerks 3 wasn't the most well-received movie, but honestly, I think for the target audience it was going for, it would hit just right. And, you know, certain people, a lot of his movies hit just right. Pretty much the View Askew universe movies, not necessarily, like Tusk and stuff like that, which really wasn't in the View Askew universe. It was just, boom, it was just like, basically he was talking to his generation that had similar experiences to him. And that hit Raze right where it counted. And Raze didn't walk for days after that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull these guys out and have a look at them one at a time. And we're going to start with with Randall, I think. We're going to take Randall out and we're going to have a look at him. Randall Graves, played by Jeff Anderson. And some of the other View Askew universes, they actually did pull Dante and Randal back in, still working at the Quick Stop, of course. Basically, from the time Clerks wrapped in 1994 until I think Jeff Anderson did not appear in, after the initial buzz of the first Clerks movie had died down, Jason Anderson was not seen again until, like, I believe it was Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, when he appears and he creates he basically calls the cops on Jay and Silent Bob in order to get them removed from the convenience store. And in fact, that is exactly what Jeff Anderson did. He disappeared for a while. He did write a script, and he did make the movie, and he did make a movie, and I think that was pretty much all he wanted to do. As he calls himself, is pretty much the laziest person. He doesn't want to do anything, so he didn't do anything. Any chance he got to not do anything. So the fact that he was able to come back for the Clerks movies and get his extra paydays, because he would have been the first to tell you that he was not an actor, but he's so good as Randall. Randall, in fact, was actually going to be played by Kevin Smith initially. Kevin Smith, that's why Randall has all the best lines in the movie. Essentially he realized he couldn't direct and be in front of the camera, trying to rate his own performance because he didn't really think he was much of an actor, so he knew he wasn't going to do well, and henceforth why Jay got Silent Bob to stand next to him, because in that case he could be in the movie, but he wouldn't actually be saying anything. I mean, he was directing even when he was, even when he was on camera, he was still directing. But this is a really great illustration. I mean, the fact that Randall in all the movies tends to wear a baseball cap backwards with the hair sticking out of it, that is a very 90s thing. And, just the fact that that's a style he's never moved away from is kind of almost trademark. I love the fact that he's got the hockey stick. Obviously kind of going back to the first movie where they played on the roof. And that was a big thing as far as the first movie, and that's why I thought it was special that they carried it on to the second. So this is a great looking pop, and it's absolutely perfect. You've got the quick stop jersey going on here, which if you didn't know, they buy the quick stop at the end of Clerks II, and Clerks III, they are in the process of running it. Initially when I watched this, I was I kind of had a problem, and even looking at the pop, it still kind of bugs me that even though Randall Graves' name is on the jersey, which is perfect, the number is 69. And honestly, as an homage to the first movie, I think it should be 37. However, due to the character, I could absolutely see him do the whole 69, that kind of thing. That does make sense, but part of me, is always going to be like, well, why isn't there the 37? And if you've seen the first movie, you know what the number 37 connotates. But yes, he gets together, he has the heart attack, and he decides to make the movie. And then we're going to move on to Dante, because our ever humble lead character of all these movies. I mean, basically it's a buddy ensemble with Randall and Dante and Randall. But we're going to go ahead and take out Dante and have a look at it. Here he is. We have Dante Hicks, played by Brian O'Halloran, who essentially, I like the fact that this is his Clerks III Funko Pop pose, because you kind of see him coming down off of the life that he's had. If you've watched the other movies, Dante never likes the what's going on in his life. He's always unhappy about something. Be it the first movie where he's not even supposed to be here today, which is one of the things that they ride all the way through the first one. And the second one, he is acting happy because he's supposed to be getting married. But the further into the movie you get, you see that, no, he's still not happy. He's doing what he thinks he's supposed to do at his age. And then you get to Clerks III, where he finally gets his I guess, awakening moment, where he's just really, then he understands. I mean, he's able to look back, especially because of making the movie, which they both kind of realize this, is Randall keeps calling it his movie all the way through, but considering it is Clerks that they're making, it's a way of them looking back and essentially knowing that it's their movie. It's the both of them, and it's both of their lives and the things that they've gone through, and always having that best friend that was right there, either getting you into the antics or pushing you in directions you wouldn't normally associate with, but always being a constant. And so that's why I'm happy that this has got the great little pose, the little serene pose here. It's great pop. He's got the quick stop. He's basically got a quick stop employee shirt on. even though he's the owner. I mean, yeah, Randall would have a hockey jersey because he kind of wears what he wants. Dante wears what he thinks he's supposed to. And yeah, it says a lot more about him as far as how that goes and how the character grew and changed throughout the whole thing. It was just really nice to finally see Dante happy and at peace. Yeah, and it was just really a stop and take a look at where you are. Quit being upset about your position and where you are in life. Look around, see what you can change. Change it if you can. Heck, change it in a way you don't quite understand because you don't know where that's going to take you. And one of the points of this is that you're never too old. You're never too old to get into it. Randall finally making a movie, Dante being there, and I don't want to go too in depth on Dante's story because the beginning of the movie, end of Clerks II, they're buying the quick stop and everything's going to be great again, and then we get into the movie and Randall has a heart attack, but you can tell that Dante's already back in his little grump. I tried, it didn't work out the way I wanted to, and that showed yet another of Gen X's little problems, is they like to be comfortable. And in this case, you see them once again. He made this big step. That's going to take care of him for the rest of everything. Instead of thinking, no, you've still got to keep working at it. You've still got to you can make your life the way you want it, but you also have to work to keep it the way you want it. There's no sitting down. If there's one thing that the boomers taught us, there's no sitting down, because life's going to run back past you if you do. Life's going to go on, and if you don't, it's going to pass you. And that's exactly what Dante finally realizes in this. And that's kind of gives the nice little bow of the Clerks movies as they go through. There's 3 Clerks movies. There's Mallrats. Brian O'Halloran came back for most, if not all, of the VSQ movies, even though, like I said, Jason Anderson disappeared. If you get to Mallrats, which is the second movie, you see the contestant in the game show at the end is Gil Hicks. This is Dante Hicks. Kevin Smith has kind of casually mentioned that Gil Hicks is his cousin, but I think that's the case, but I'm not really sure. But if you see in Dogma, during the explosive scene where the angel is basically destroying people outside the church, picking them up and dropping them and whatnot, Brian O'Halloran is there, and he is yet a reporter, and the name on the it's a break-in news report, and you see again Hicks is the last name of that character, so probably another cousin, another relative of Dante's. He never refers to these other characters in when he goes back to playing Dante, so we don't know 100%. But we do know that Kevin Smith loves combining his View universe. But yeah, that's it. This is a long time coming in getting these two. Like I said, from '94 on, which yes, that would have been Raze right there in that time being developed. These guys could have been contemporaries, and so watching their story evolve is very personal, probably more personal than most movies that Ray sits back and watches. There's a very personal element to Kevin Smith's VS Universe movies, and when it keeps going back to Dante and Randal, it is kind of a lot like that. And I'm sure it wouldn't be like that if you've never seen them before and you just sat down and watched them all. You probably wouldn't get that. But having the evolution as you were evolving. I think that touched pretty close to home, and I appreciate it. Some of Raze's earliest friends he met about the same time, and they kind of feel the same way. And again, there were a little bit of Dante and Randal in all of us, and some more than others. But it was very easy for at least the friend group that I grew up with to kind of lean back into who's going to be Dante and who's going to be Randal in this night that we go out. So, again, very excited to have these characters. Probably would have liked to have gotten the originals from the first Clerks movies first off, but not really going to complain at this point because kind of love them as they are at the end of that movie as well. Don't know that I would have gone the in-between, like Clerks II versions. I probably wouldn't have gotten those. But definitely happy to have them now. Really excited to do this video, as if you couldn't tell because Raze just kept talking. But at any point, like I said earlier, I'm not even supposed to be here today. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. I hope you have a great day. I hope your Christmas season is shaping up the way you want. And never forget that life is full of odd moments. You never know when you're going to be defined.